When we're young, people seem to have an expectation of who we're supposed to be. Teachers expect model students, parents expect us to follow dreams they never could, and society gives us a checklist of what makes us successful, impressive, or normal. Expectations are everywhere, and most of the time, we never stop to question them. Oscar Wilde had something to say about this. He said, quote, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." While this seems simple, in today's day and age, it can feel almost impossible. Take me, for example. In elementary and middle school, I was honestly kind of a delinquent. I threw fruits at the bathroom walls, I stood on the desks, I talked back to teachers, and so I got in trouble. A lot. Kicked out of class, detention, calls home to mom, almost every punishment imaginable. And because of this, I stopped making jokes. I stopped talking as much. I stopped laughing as much. And although these expectations helped me grow and mature into the person I am today, they also caused me to shrink myself down. And this realization that although many expectations help us grow and mature, just as many can be the reason that we shrink ourselves down to lesser versions of ourselves. Now, this idea became super clear to me when I started skeet shooting. Now, when this comes up in conversation, I'm usually met with reactions like, "Oh, that's cool, but you don't seem like you'd be into that thing." Or, "Cool, but why not tennis or something?" And although subtle, both of these reactions held an expectation, a nested suggestion that I was stepping outside of the bounds of who I was allowed to be. And at first, I would brush off the off comments and the jokes. But over time, they started making me feel out of place. Every practice, every meet, I felt like all eyes were on me. And it got so bad that I wanted to quit shooting altogether. However, one day, my father, who got me into shooting, told me to stick with it, just for 1 year, to decide whether or not for myself I liked it. And so I did. And as I did, I got better. I've placed in the state championship for the last 4 years, and I started experiencing something I hadn't felt in a while. Freedom. In the metaphorical sense, of course. When I'm on the range, there wasn't any expectation for me to do well. I just wanted to perform for myself, improve shot by shot. And on the range, it was just my clay, my gun, and me. Ironically, the kid who got told to shut up by his teachers found this clarity in the loudest sport imaginable. Expectations act almost like invisible walls. We can't always see them, but they shape what choices we make, like what subjects we pick in school, what careers we pursue in college, and even what hobbies we spend our free time doing. And many times, although they can guide us, they can also trap us. And I'm sure everyone in this room has experienced expectations in some way. Some of you may feel trapped by them, told that your dreams are unrealistic or your hobbies are weird. Some of you may not feel them as much because you place them more than you realize. And some of you may think expectations mean nothing to you until you realize that you've been seeking approval over authenticity. Expectations shape how not only we see ourselves, but how we see the others around us. And that's why questioning them, even just one time, matters so much. Because yes, they can help us grow, mature, teach us kindness, respect, humility. But many times, they start defining who we're allowed to be. And that's when they stop helping us grow and start shrinking us. I want everyone in this room to think about the passions that have been left untouched, or the ideas of success that have been chased by someone who never truly defined success for themselves because they were expected to do so. I know personally a number of aspiring musicians and artists who've dropped these passions for STEM or business or finance because it's more practical, or they were expected to do that. That's why expectations don't just limit the individual, they limit potential as well. And it's for that reason that carving your own path isn't selfish, it's necessary. Because at the end of the day, living authentically isn't about rebelling or going against the system, it's about aligning how you live with who you are. Now, skeet shooting has become a symbol of that choice to me. It's told me that the things that make me different or unique aren't weird or strange, but rather they serve as signposts. They guide me to who I was meant to be. And the great thing about, and breaking an expectation is never going to be easy. It's hard to look someone in their eyes and tell them, "I know what you expect, but that's not who I am." You risk misunderstandings, judgment, even anger. But every time someone chooses to be authentic to themselves, they tell not only themselves, but the people around them that it's okay to be you. And they foster a space for others to be authentic as well. And the great thing about this is it isn't just for people who struggle under expectations, it's for all of us. So for those of you who feel trapped by expectations, this is a sign that you can step out of that box. For those of you who maybe place expectations more than you realize, this is a sign for you to stop, look at the person and think whether you're seeing who they are or who you want them to be. And for those of you who never really thought about expectations, this is a sign for you to start. The idea of living authentically, or the question isn't what if who we're expected to be isn't who we are, but rather what happens when we choose to be ourselves anyways. Thank you.